W 4 L X F W F K.
That's the first code, huh?
What's going on, guys? We are live. Welcome to Beastly Thought Show. I'm psyched. You guys psyched? You guys ready? You guys ready to get going? Let's do this.
Absolutely.
Let's do this right now.
Yes. Right now. Right now.
We got a ton of news to talk about. Robbie has been busy in the news. We got new stuff to introduce. We got a new Twitch channel that we want to introduce to everybody. I believe the web address for that is twitch.tv/beastlythoughts. We will be live streaming there. We're going to start doing the show there next week, so it'll be simulcast on YouTube and on Twitch, so anybody can watch it on either platform, depending on your choice. We're also going to be live streaming some video games there. When we play together, I believe that's where we're going to do it.
Yeah.
We're really excited about the new Twitch channel. Robbie was so kind as to set it up. Thank you, Robbie, very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Robbie. You are the man.
Yep.
The myth. The legend.
He is. He's the back end of the Beastly Thought Show.
Yeah. Where all the smelly stuff comes from.
That's not true at all.
So we got a ton to talk about today, but first, let's talk about what we've been playing. Robbie, why don't you go first this week?
Absolutely.
What are you up to?
This week I've been playing a lot of Destiny, getting back into it, doing the strikes, doing Crucible, a lot of lag banner, I'd call it. It's not exactly in the great condition, but it's been fun. Also been playing Arkham Knight, doing the side missions, and that's been about it.
Have you gotten a chance to play any Trials of Osiris yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay, what level are you?
34.
34, so you're there. You're ready.
Of course,
time.
yeah.
It's time. You got to get off that hump, man. You got to get in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's where the men are separated from the potatoes.
I want to know which I am. Okay.
We got to get to the lighthouse, man. That is super fun.
I'd definitely love to try it out. Yeah, if we get a team together, it'd be fun.
Yeah, the lag issue is way less in there too because it's a connection-based matchmaking system, so it's not skill-based like it is in the Iron Banner. And I gotta agree with you, the Iron Banner this week, I think more than other weeks, is lag heavy.
It's really, really rough. Like you see people just warping across the map. You shoot somebody and they're kind of standing still in place, and they got full health. It's like, what just happened?
Yeah,
it's really messy.
Yeah. Yep. All right, so Beastly, what have you been up to?
I've been playing The Witcher. I've been playing Dead Rising 3. I've been playing The Last of Us. I've been playing... I'm getting State of Decay tomorrow for Xbox One. It's a game I always wanted to play, and I made arrangements today, and it'll be here tomorrow. And that's pretty much been it. I'm waiting for Batman. I'm in the middle of Witcher. Kate's farther than I am now in The Witcher, which is sad. She's been talking mad shit to me lately because I've been playing The Last of Us, and she's slowly gotten further than me in The Witcher, and so when I saw that happen, I had to put The Last of Us aside and get back into The Witcher. So right now, that's what I'm doing. But there's so many games and so little time. I didn't get a chance to play really any Destiny this week. I think we went through the Prison of Elders twice this week, and of course, that's always fun. I still haven't tried any of the PvP stuff in the House of Wolves. I'm looking forward to at least trying that, and that's been my week.
Yeah, we got to get you at least up to like level 32 so you can jump into the Trials of Osiris.
Yeah.
That would be a lot of fun. You should be getting gear from the Prison Elders, right?
Yeah, I got a lot of nice gear.
Mm-hmm.
And last week we planned on getting together and doing that, but the cards didn't fall where they needed to for that to happen, so hopefully we can do some of that this week. The three of us get together and go do that, yeah.
So I, like Robbie, have been playing the Salty Potato Iron Banner.
Has it really been that bad?
It is bad this week. I'm telling you, I don't understand why it's so bad. Maybe there's less people playing it this week, so it has to search wider and further for connections. I don't know. It's not like the old Call of Duty games where it actually tell you how many people were playing the playlist that you're in. But man, it's rotten in there. But I also play.
It might have connected to that Zimbabwe internet. Like, it's rough.
It is bad in there. And I gotta agree with you. It's like you shoot a guy with a shotgun. He doesn't go down, so you melee him, and he's just standing there. So you melee him again twice.
And then he's like, whoop!
And then you're all right, this guy's not gonna die. So you walk away, and he shotguns you in the back.
What?
Yep. It's really bad.
Yeah.
I never heard of this kind of issue in Destiny, man.
Oh man, it's rotten in there. So I feel like Destiny has got some issues with their matchmaking system. It's the same type of lag that you used to see in Halo, where you trade kills, right? That's not something you'd ever see in Call of Duty because it's a different kind of networking code that Call of Duty uses. It's like nobody ever trades kills in Call of Duty. It's always one guy gets the kill every
All
time.
the time, yeah.
But in Destiny, it's like if it's close, then they just kind of kill both people, and that can be frustrating. I don't know which one I prefer because Call of Duty it just felt like you got robbed and the other guy's continuing on his kill streak. So I can't really say which one I prefer, but I know that it don't feel right now.
Well,
Yeah.
I'd have to go with Call of Duty because at least in Call of Duty, you know that the person who died first, the other person shot first, usually.
No,
It's
you don't know
Twitch
that.
gameplay.
You definitely don't know that.
That's how it feels. When
I
you
mean,
die-
that's probably how it's supposed to feel, but
yeah.
with the internet, what it is, with lag being what it is, it's like you're talking about, 5 milliseconds between, input and, when a bullet should land, right? But it could be that you have 80 milliseconds of lag on your,
Ooh.
and that's a big difference, right? And that could be the determining factor in a gunfight. There were all sorts of tricks back in the day in Call of Duty. Like people would start uploading something to their YouTube channel just so they would get host. There's all sorts of tricks in Call of Duty to get host and to have a better lag experience. Bad stuff.
Yeah, in Destiny though, it's more noticeable. It's been many times where I killed someone, or they killed me, and I thought I killed them, and then as I die, then they die. I'm like, what the hell happened? It just confuses me sometimes.
Yeah. It definitely needs some work in the lag compensation front. I don't know how to solve it though. It's like the internet is what it is, and
it is what it is. That's how you solve it.
Yeah.
But before we continue with the news, Briar, I wanted to congratulate you on 28,000 subscribers, man. That is an amazing thing, and to me, it's amazing because I know where you were about a year ago.
Yeah.
I think you're the man. God bless you. God bless America. 4th of July just happened.
Yeah.
And 28,000, man. That is something to really be proud of. And as a friend, I just wanted to tell you I'm so proud of you, man.
Thank you, man. It's been the last month has actually been insane. It was a month ago that I hit 20,000, right? So it's been 8,000 subscribers in 30 days, which is insane.
Wow. Did someone, prick your finger and tell you to drop some blood on some paper and write your name at any time in the last few months?
I had this little bauble that I buried at a crossroad. Said some prayers backward.
Yeah.
It's been fun. The channel's growing really fast. It's really gratifying. It's fun to see. It's just been a lot of fun lately.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. So,
shall we move to the news? There's a lot
so.
of news. A lot of news this week. And this is for people. Well, Robbie, you talked about this earlier, that a lot of people don't like the Arkham Origins game that came out that wasn't actually developed by Rocksteady. Why don't you go on with this news?
Yeah, so this week, I think it was on Monday, an anonymous source claimed that the Batman Arkham Origins developer, which was Warner Brothers Montreal, they're developing a brand new open world game, like a brand new IP as well for PS4 and Xbox One. Obviously, they're going to be working on their next game because Arkham Origins came back in 2013, so it's been a couple years. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people hate on Arkham Origins for some reasonable, some not so reasonable, but we'll see how it is. I think they're good developers, so we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you there. I think they were able to take the Arkham series and at least continue the feel of it. A lot of people say it didn't live up to the extravagant nature of the two previous, but I thought that it did lend itself to the series fairly well. And I'm kind of excited to see what they're going to do on their own with a new IP versus...
I mean, it still felt like an Arkham game, and it's just the problem was the bar was set so high because the Rocksteady games were so amazing. Like, it's really hard to live up to that, and I thought they did a really good job. Like, as a game itself, just looking at Arkham Origins without the other games, it was still a great game, and Warner Brothers Montreal is definitely a really good developer. They're pretty new developer, so we'll see what they do. They're doing something completely different, it sounds like, which is awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Any thoughts, Briar?
No.
Moving on. All right, so
nothing positive to say, just like my mom said. If you got nothing nice to say,
don't say nothing, Brian.
That's good. That's good. You're growing up, Briar.
So, did you guys ever get into the Mafia series? Mafia 1, Mafia 2?
I played Mafia 2. I thought it was pretty cool.
I played Mafia 2 and loved it. That game was one of the best games no one played. It was obviously very similar to GTA, but it was set in like that 1940s Mafia-style New York. It was really cool. Really enjoyed that game.
I really liked it. I thought that it was going in a direction that GTA I felt needed to go, actually. And it appears that Mafia 3's reveal is imminent as Take-Two registers several domains related to the game. So this is something that looks like it's going to happen pretty soon. You guys excited for a re-emergence of the Mafia series coming to current-gen consoles?
Definitely. I think it's great to see another Mafia game because Mafia 2, as fantastic as it was, not many people played it, not many people talked about it. It was a very underrated game for the time, and I'm really looking forward to a third game. It is going to be on PS4, Xbox One, and PC, so no last gen. Obviously, we shouldn't even be talking about last gen at this point. They're 10-year-old consoles. But
what is that?
yeah, I don't know what last gen is either. We're kind of moving on from that. But yeah, I just hope this game is great. We'll see.
Who's the developer on this?
2K Czech, I think. I want to say. Yeah.
Czech. You're right.
What's their
Czech Republic?
What have they done?
They've done the Mafia games. They've done.
They were buying Mafia 1 and 2?
I think they worked on BioShock 2, I want to say, as well. Like, they're a good developer. They have a good track record. So I'd say bets are good on Mafia 3.
The thing here is, games like GTA 5 that have really kind of changed the scope of the world, you've got to really revolutionize this genre of game. GTA 5 has gone above and beyond the scope of what anyone was really ready for in one of these, quote, God games where you're able to do pretty much anything you want. It's just so much meat on the plate. And I hope that Mafia, even though it's set in a different time zone, is able to match that. Because in GTA 5, you can literally spend days doing other things other than playing that game. Mm-hmm. You can literally just fucking skydive, ride a bike, go deer hunt. It's just so many things that you can do. So that being one of the most popular games in the world right now, hopefully Mafia learns something from that and sticks to what makes Mafia good, as well as opens it up to other possibilities to give gamers other avenues of entertainment.
Yeah, imagine like the heist equivalent in Mafia. That'd be really cool.
That would be awesome. I would love to see that.
Or just recreation set in the 40s. Can you guys imagine what they did back then for recreation compared to what we do now? And to articulate that into a game and make it fun, I think that would be really awesome. Things that we have no idea even existed, you know?
Yeah, that could be cool.
The rumor, too, is that this is going to be set in New Orleans. What do you guys think of that?
I like that.
As long as Lil Wayne isn't there, I'm happy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to talk too much about a game that we haven't seen anything of. But I did like Mafia 2. It didn't blow me away, but it was fun. And I don't even think I finished it, to be honest with you. But I did like it. And under next gen, I think that there's a lot more they can do with an open world game with the newer consoles, the more powerful hardware. And I'd like to see a company start to expand on that because I think the possibilities are kind of wide open. Bigger worlds, more detailed, more rich. Like we saw Fallout 3. See how detailed that world is. Like have that kind of level of detail in like a Mafia New Orleans world. That'd be fun. That'd be really fun.
That would be phenomenal, man. Oh, the future is now. The future is now. Skynet. All right, so moving on, guys. This news actually hit me in the heart. I found out about this the day before yesterday and immediately had to make a video about it. Nolan North hints towards the sequel of The Last of Us. Now, Nolan North was recently at the MetroCon, which is another convention, and he was sitting on the stage, sitting on a table, casually, and someone asked him in the audience, was he working on anything else with Naughty Dog? And he said, I want to try to paraphrase. He said, the only thing I know that we're working on is The Last of Us 2. He said, but my character met an untimely demise in The Last of Us, so I don't know what role I'll be reprising. And then he went on to make some jokes about the PS3 and the PS4. This was earth-shattering news to me. I don't know if Nolan North intended to break the ice or if you got the okay from Druckmann and Bruce Straley to let the audience at the MetroCon know, but this was huge news. A lot of people have been wondering if this is going to happen. I personally thought it was going to happen for a long time, just based on the business aspect of what The Last of Us did. A game that wins that many awards, has that much critical and commercial acclaim that people are so hungry for. I kind of thought for a long time this was going to come. It was in the works. But it appears now that Nolan North, the voice of Nathan Drake himself, has spilled the beans. What are you guys' thoughts on this?
I think Last of Us 2, even before this, like, there's no way this isn't happening. There's definitely going to be a sequel. I mean, you just talk about The Last of Us, how everyone loved that game. It was an amazing feat for the 7th generation of consoles, probably one of the best games of that generation. Honestly, one of the best games I think I have ever played. It was just incredible start to finish. Everything about that game is phenomenal. A sequel makes so much sense because obviously The Last of Us was huge for Sony as a new IP. It sold millions of copies. Everybody loved it. It was incredible success. Like, there's no way they're not doing a sequel to this. I don't know if it'll be Joel and Ellie's story continued. Honestly, I'd love to see that because it was kind of a cliffhanger ending. I love those characters so much, but, well, who knows? There'll definitely be a sequel, though. I think so.
Mr. Rabbit?
Yeah, I mean, it's inevitable, right? They're definitely making a sequel, but it kind of, I'm getting the impression that either it's super early in development or he's not involved in it, right? So we could take one of two things away. Either A, it's super early in development, like, you know, they haven't even started bringing him in to, like, do any of the voice work, or B, he's just not in it, so it's going to star new people. It's going to be a brand new story in that world, which I think I would prefer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got to take into account his character in the original died, so he would be reprising or starting off as a whole new character either way. But the way that Naughty Dog has been working recently,
well, I mean, they could have done a prequel. They could do, inside, like a side story. They could do all sorts of stuff with that same character. Just because he's dead in the end of the first one, no spoilers, dick.
Yeah, well, he kind of spoiled it too, but I'm sorry if I spoiled it for anybody. Personally, I wouldn't care either way, whether or not Joel and Ellie's story goes on, or if they told just a pure story of survival in this world. The world is so alive and so rich for me that I wouldn't even care either way. Of course, we know the story of Joel and Ellie and why she's so pivotal to the story, but it would be just as good to me to see a story of plain, simple human survival in this post-apocalyptic world. Robbie, why the hell are you so happy right now?
I don't know. Just keep going. I don't know. Just keep going.
Yeah,
Ignore me.
This is really good news for me. I'm really excited about it, and I can't wait to hear more. I don't know if Nolan North got in trouble, if it's possible that Neil Druckmann and Bruce Straley got on him after this, because it seemed like it.
Right?
Yeah, it seemed like he just was free with it, and he's like the first person ever to just be out there in the open, and he spoke of it in a way like everybody already knew. He said, the only thing I know of is The Last of Us 2. And people were like, holy shit, what the hell did you just say? And so to me, it seems really weird that he would be the one to just announce it, and he's a voice actor. And I would love to know the background of that. But yeah, it's really exciting, and I look forward to see what happens next.
He's not new to this arena. I mean, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, I'd like to think.
Yeah.
But you never know, you know? Who knows? Maybe he had a cocktail before he did this thing. Yeah. You know, some people get excited when they drink.
Mm-hmm.
Moral of the story, bitch bombs are confirmed for Last of Us 2 multiplayer.
Yes!
Oh, my God.
Yes!
That'd be nice if they actually came up with a good way of doing multiplayer for that game, because the last one sucked.
Oh, get out of here!
Come on.
Get out of here.
Brian, you love those bitch bombs. I know you're happy that they're in Last of Us 2 multiplayer. Confirmed, right here. You heard it first.
All right, so we had the bitch bomb incident, right? Basically, you can just, like, leave invisible bombs, and everybody who walks by just dies, right? It's, like, got to be the most annoying mechanic ever in a multiplayer game. But then, I'm talking to Beastly months later, and he's like, oh, yeah, now you can buy a bow and arrow that's a one-shot kill. It's the most powerful weapon in the game. So you basically have a pay-to-win weapon in there, too. It's like,
no, it's not a one-shot kill. It makes you bleed out. You have to heal immediately, or you bleed out.
Thorn. It's basically Thorn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's Thorn. All right.
It's overpowered as hell.
Yeah, it's Thorn.
Man. Yeah, but I'm not bitter.
Yeah, you don't
the
sound
player
like it.
on that. I gotta agree with Robbie. I think it was one of the most stunning things we saw out of the last generation. It was amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah, you can't deny that game is
It's so
incredible.
refreshing to hear Brian say that.
It was amazing.
All right, so moving on, guys. This is actually really good to hear because we as a community have a really loud voice, and sometimes you may think you don't, but if we're adamant about something and we all come together and peacefully protest or insist on something, our voices can make a change. And Shuhei Yoshida actually was a person who spoke about this, but he said Dave said that The Last Guardian probably would have never happened without the fan support, according to Sony, and Shuhei Yoshida actually spoke about this. I'm so happy that everybody stayed on their ass about this, because if they didn't, we would have ended with Shadow of the Colossus, which is an amazing game, but I wanted more of that, and I'm really happy that everybody kind of stayed with it and stayed with the times and continually asked Sony, where is this game? Are we going to see this game? And they stayed on it.
Yeah, I think it's just, I can't believe it was never canceled. I mean, it's been in development how long now? Team Ico hasn't released a game in 10 years.
It's been in development turmoil for 9 years.
Yeah, but I think just it's incredible to see that obviously Sony cares about it a lot, and they can tell that everybody wants this game and people care about it a lot. Like, a lot of people love Shadow of the Colossus and Ico. Those are very beloved games, and it's amazing that Sony stuck with it. They've been developing the game this whole time. I really respect this decision, and I'm so surprised because from a business standpoint, they would have canceled this game years ago. But they stuck with it, and props to you, Sony. That's amazing.
Well, my thoughts on this is this. This game has to make a ton of money because if you got to take into account that the studio was paying their employees all this time for 9 years to develop this game. It's not like they sat at home and ate cornflakes for 9 years. They worked. And so Sony is banking on all that money that was basically spent on the development of this game, turning into a plethora of dough when it actually comes out and is released. And if it's anything like the Shadow of the Colossus or Ico games, people are going to eat it alive. I might eat it on.
I need Shadow of the Colossus alive.
Oh well, I think that Shadow of the Colossus was more critically acclaimed and commercially, but I think people now know of what these games meant and how awesome and amazing they were after the fact. So now they have a much broader audience of people who are really excited about them versus when Shadow of the Colossus or Ico first came out. They had 9 years to marinate in the stew of what used to be. So
I don't know. Am I the only one who's a little bit worried about this game? Like, the E3 demo didn't impress me. It was cool, but it wasn't like knock my socks off. Obviously, it took them 9 years to make this. Nothing like that was going through my brain.
It took them 9 years to make a 4-minute gameplay demo. Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like I'm definitely gonna check it out when it comes out, but
I think that the world is very reminiscent of the worlds they've already crafted, but I'm more interested in the story. I can tell that the game is very far along in development just by the way it looks. Everything seems to work really well, but I've noticed some parallels between the Shadow of the Colossus, Ico games, and this game. Like the young boy, he looks almost identical to the main protagonist in the game Ico. And
what time in 2016 do you guys think this game will come out? Like, do you think it'll be a fall game, or will it be before that?
I'd probably say fall. I mean,
I'm going to guess spring 2016. I'm going to guess either that or like June-ish kind of area. That's my guess. I doubt they're going to hold it another year. There's no way.
I hope it's a spring game. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm going to say. Waited long enough. I mean, I'd prefer it as soon as possible, but it's one of those situations where I don't want to get myself too excited and hyped up and then find out that it's going to be another 12, 16 months. So I'll be happy whenever.
I thought you were going to say years at the end of that.
Me too. I was like, no, not again.
That was a concept video. That's what we're shooting for on the PlayStation 5.
2025.
Yeah.
We hope.
All right, so one of you guys want to continue on with our news?
Warner Brothers knew about Batman Arkham Asylum's... No, I don't want to continue. Warner Brothers knew about Batman Arkham Knight's issues on PC for months.
Yeah, this sucks.
Yeah, so this comes from basically reports that they had, 80 days to make this port?
Apparently, yeah, from what I've heard.
80 days. So the thing was rushed through development, right? It was given to Iron Galaxy to port to the PC, and there's just no way you can port a game that quickly and come out with a good product. So it looks like everybody knew this was going to be shitty, but they pushed it out anyway. And that's up to you. How do you feel about that?
This is so shady to me. Like, the fact that I was watching some of the old videos when they were showing the game off on PC, like running at 60 frames, and now we realize that it was sped up. Like, you could kind of tell the enemies' voices sounded like chipmunks. This is so shady. Like, I am just so disappointed in Warner Brothers for doing this. Like, what a dick thing to do to PC gamers. This is just not okay. You should not have to accept this if you're playing on a PC. This is very pathetic.
There's been a myriad of refunds issued, and until this thing gets fixed, nobody on PC is going to be worried about it. So at least they backed up and took a step back and said, hey, we're going to stop sales of the PC version. But I think, honestly, they should have not released it in the state it was in. They said that it was just like this months ago. You know, and nothing has changed.
And they didn't give a shit. They're like, we're going to make our money. Who cares? Push it out. We'll patch it later. And that is such an asshole way to think about it. Come on. Like,
PC gamers are super psyched about Steam's refund policy right now.
No kidding. Thank goodness for that. Give them just the right time.
All right, what do we got next?
So this story kind of has me really anxious to grab this game on my Xbox One. Pre-order Fallout 4 on Xbox One, you get a copy of Fallout 3 free thanks to backwards compatibility. What do you guys think about this?
I went at pre-order Fallout 4 as soon as that was available. Yep, like I know I'm getting that game. I'm sure we all know we're getting Fallout 4, right? Like, you know that game is going to be an event when it comes out. You're getting that on day one. Might as well pre-order it. And I get Fallout 3 with it too? Come on, that game is incredible.
But you already have Fallout 3. Everybody here has Fallout 3, so that's the thing that doesn't really excite me too much. The thing that excites me is whether or not we're going to be able to have mods as soon as the PC mods are available. That's what I want to
I got a fucking Pip-Boy coming. I'm going to put it right on my wrist.
Did you pre-order that version? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah!
I can't find it now. It's too late for me. I can't find it.
It was too late for me, too.
I went to GameStop yesterday morning, and they were like, oh, we don't have any more of those. So I was like, you piece of shit.
Well, keep your eyes open, because sometimes they come back in stock.
All right.
But yeah, if you're interested in that, I don't care. You know, Fallout 3, I already have a copy of Fallout 3. Actually, I have two copies. I have a PC copy and I have a Xbox 360 copy. Same with New Vegas and all the DLC for both games. I love Fallout, and I can't wait for this next game.
I gotta ask you this, Briar. If Fallout 4 came out today,
yeah,
would you take a break from Destiny to play this?
Yeah, man. Fallout is one of the best series in the world.
Would you give up Destiny when Fallout 4 comes out this November? You would?
Will I give it up? No, I won't give it up.
Okay, well, you stop playing temporarily to play Fallout then.
What's that? Give it up.
Will I stop playing Destiny? No, I'll do both.
No, temporarily, I mean. Like, just to kind of immerse yourself in that world.
No, I'll do both.
I tried, guys. I tried.
You'll have two flat screens side by side.
Maybe if we take away his Gallahorn, he'll break.
Hey, there's enough time for me to play two games, you know, and Fallout is one of those games that you can play for years. You know, it's like, if it's anything like Fallout 3 was, you can just kind of continuously play that game. You know, there's so many options. The world is so rich. It's amazing what they did with Fallout 3. It's like you can just kind of you can go through the story, right? But then you get back into it and you can just start exploring the countryside and see all sorts of shit that you missed.
Yeah.
You know, entire quest lines that are completely side stories that don't have anything to do with the main story or just world building.
It's just like The Witcher. It's just like The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yes, I'm so excited for this game. Like, I can't wait. Like when I start talking about it, I get more and more amped about it.
Amplitude. Yeah. I want to give a shout out to my 14-year-old Brett Jr., honor roll student. I went in his room Friday and I asked him what he was doing. I looked at the screen. He was playing Fallout 3. And
yes.
That is the thing that makes a dad so proud. So I want to tell you, son, I love you.
Hopefully he wasn't playing it on the PS3 because that was broke as shit.
I played it on PS3 back in the day, all right? So what are you going to say about that?
Damn you, Briar, I swear.
He wasn't he?
Yes.
Did they patch that game enough that it actually works?
Yeah, they patched it. It works fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
it
definitely
works
when
fine.
it came out, it was broken, though. You're right.
Yeah, when it came out, it was done. But I didn't play it when it first came out. I didn't even know about it, so
No.
I was really late to it. Yeah, I went to get the Elder Scrolls, and somebody said, "Hey, you want to try this one instead?" And I said, "Well, I tried it, and I took it home, and I was like, holy shit, this is the Holy Grail. This is amazing." I played it with my wife, and we loved it, and it was amazing. All right, so continuing on. NX manufacturing to begin in October. Console may launch in mid-2016 according to reports. The NX, that is the next Nintendo console. I'm so excited.
I am very surprised that it might be coming this quick. Like, I think we all thought that obviously the Wii U is kind of limited on its days. That console is pretty much done at this point. Obviously, NX is probably coming in 2016. I was surprised that it's coming this early, though. I thought for sure it would be a fall thing. Like, they'd come out at E3 and say, here's the NX, this is our next system, coming this fall, we're going to show you all the games that's coming to it, what you can expect. Maybe it'll be a hybrid system, yeah, who knows, but I mean, it's being manufactured this October. If this is true, like, this system is just about finalized then. That's,
yeah.
Wow. Like, that's crazy to me. I did not expect this.
What do you
I can't
think,
wait
Brian?
to start hearing the details about it. You remember way back in the day when we were talking about, like, the rumors of the next generation Nintendo console,
Yeah.
and how I think at the time we were calling it the Fusion,
Yep.
and it was a
Yeah.
fusion of a home console with a portable. I really hope that comes true, and the fact that they're talking about the 3DS and the NX and the Wii U, that they're going to continue support for that, makes my hopes kind of. It makes me tingle a little bit. Hey, they're talking about the 3DS too, so maybe something like a portable version of the NX is going to be a thing, you know?
That
Briar's
makes
got
perfect
those tingles
sense.
going on.
Brian, that
I got
makes
those little tingles.
no.
I got some tingles too.
I don't know why this means tingles.
To me, that makes perfect sense what you just said, because if they did say just the Wii U, you'd think, okay, it's a home console, but the fact that they included that 3DS with it, this thing might have portability. As soon as I saw the Nintendo Direct this year, I thought that was Nintendo's farewell to the Wii U. Honestly, it was pretty self-evident that they were not doing too much to support it from this point on. They announced a handful of games. The games they did show were mediocre at best, and I felt like it was kind of their farewell. They did start off, Reggie Fils-Aimé, by saying that they're going to talk about the NX next year. I'm not surprised that they're going to be pulling this thing out possibly next year, because look at what they did at E3. They didn't really talk about anything other than Star Fox, Yoshi, and those games were really underwhelming for hardcore gamers. So I'm thinking that next year will probably be a good time for us to expect Nintendo's new bright shining star to come back and reclaim the world.
Yeah, I think. What would you like to
This
see? What do you want to see out of it?
I want to see open world Mario, first of all.
No, not for software. Out of the hardware.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to see something at least on par graphically with what we see right now. I don't want them to come out with something that's subpar like they did with the Wii, and like they did with the Wii U. The Wii U is subpar compared to what we have now. The Wii was subpar compared to the PS3 and the 360. I want them to be able to directly compete. That's always been Nintendo's their excuse. We're not directly competing. Yes, you are. You're in the same field. You're in the same area of expertise. You make video games. You keep people excited, and you entertain people. I want to see them take the fucking bull by the horns and do what they used to do. Revolutionize games. They have some of the best games I've ever played in my life. They got amazing development teams. The games that they make always work flawlessly. I want to see them marry that with the technology and really excite me in a way I haven't been with Nintendo in years. The last time I was super excited with the Nintendo platform was probably with the 64. You know, the 64 was probably the last time I felt true magic. When I saw Pilot Wings, when I saw Mario 64, it changed my life seeing that.
And that was kind of the first time that we saw Nintendo release a system that's specs were a little bit subpar.
Yeah, they were different. The 64, as time grew on, you know, the 64 versus my PlayStation, I picked the PlayStation every time, but that doesn't take away the fact that the 64 had some amazing games on it.
Yeah. I mean, software development by Nintendo is amazing.
So, yeah, it's so good. I want to see them step up in the hardware department to directly compete and say, okay, we have this game. It's coming to all three platforms, and it's going to look just as good on our platform as it will on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, but our Nintendo NX has this new controller. Because if you guys remember, Nintendo revolutionized controls. They were the first controller to have an analog stick with the Nintendo 64. They were the first controller to have motion controls. They did some kind of crazy, Rumble Pack. They did all this stuff first, so I'm sure that they got something up their sleeve as far as the way they're going to control. I think the Wii U was a big misstep with their control. It's on my bed actually, but hopefully they can give us a traditional controller with something new that really immerses us in the experience the way they've been doing for the last 20 years.
Robbie, what do you think? What would you like to see out of this?
I think, first of all, the C3 showed that Nintendo clearly realizes, which is good, that the Wii U is not salvageable. Like, the system is what it is. They can't really do much more with it. The Wii U is just kind of going to live on for a few more years, and that's going to be that. But with the NX, I think what they need to do is first of all, they need to have a more powerful console. At the very least, be as powerful as the PS4 and Xbox One. The second thing they need to do is get those third parties back aboard, because if you can get third-party games like Destiny and Call of Duty on a Nintendo system, plus you have your first-party IPs like Mario and Zelda, they're going to kill it. They need those two big things. If you can get your third parties and your Nintendo first parties, I mean, there's no way the system can fail. That's the biggest issue I think Nintendo has right now. They need to wake up and realize they need a dedicated gaming console, and even if it's this hybrid thing, you can take it on the road. That would be super cool. Will they be able to maintain that same power and same playability on the road as at home? Who knows? But they have the potential to do it. I hope they just wake up and realize that they need to change, because the Wii U is not working.
Nintendo has to kiss a lot of ass, is what they got to do. To be quite honest, to bring the third parties back, they got to just make themselves so approachable to everyone out there. Hell, look, we'll jump through this hoop for you if you bring it to us.
Yeah.
And we'll they have to.
I think we're going to start seeing. I think we're definitely going to see a console that's at least on par with the current PlayStation 4 and Xbox One hardware. At least. It'd be nice to see it actually surpass it by at least a step or two, right? And, these consoles are 2 years old now. Yeah. For the same price, I think that Nintendo could release a console that is a little bit nicer than what we've got, right? Ooh. I don't think that's too much to ask. At the least, I think maybe for $250, they could release a console that has the same amount of power as the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Because now they're dealing with technology that's a little bit older now. So just to get parity, I think they could come in at a lower cost at like $250, or if they were going to go for that $400, $350 price point, then it's got to actually outperform the PS4 and the Xbox One.
Or because the thing is, when you look at what they're doing with the Nintendo Wii U, it's still $300 if you go buy it brand new, which is unbelievable.
Way too much.
Unbelievable.
Well, the problem there is the fact that stupid remote, the tablet,
the gamepad,
costs money. Yeah.
You take that out of there, the console's way cheaper, and honestly, it would be like $100, $200 that system. Way more people would buy it if it were that much.
Yeah, but the thing is, if Nintendo were to bring out a system that at $250, that would be a huge contrast compared to what they've been doing now. Or they could go back to their old ways.
Well, the Wii U was bargain priced, and the Wii U is bargain priced when you compare it to other consoles.
Yeah, it is right now. Yeah. It's older too, but what I'd like to see Nintendo do that would be a step above what everybody's doing now is to have a console come out with the game for free, just straight out of the box, bundle. Back in the day, when you buy a Nintendo, you get a Nintendo game. Yeah. When you buy a Super Nintendo, you got Mario World, and it still is one of the best games on the console. And when people saw that, they were like, "Holy shit, I gotta play it!" If they had an amazing NX game that people saw, an open world Mario,
You're changing the topic altogether here. Let me finish what I was saying before we move on to what you're saying.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm saying either the console has to be more powerful than the PlayStation 4 for the same price, or it has to be as powerful as the PlayStation 4 at a cheaper price, right? Because they have to win over hearts and minds here. And you do that with either more power or better pricing. Second, they need to get rid of these gimmicky controllers. I know that they have been innovating these controllers for a long time now, but in my opinion, the Wii was a gimmick and the Wii U was a gimmick. I know the Wii was popular. I know that the Wii Remote was popular, but it was a gimmick.
Yeah.
And to actually play 90% of games with it, I'd rather just use a controller.
Yeah.
The Wii was like lightning in a bottle. They released it at the perfect time, and people just ate it up without really realizing what it was, and it didn't last. Like they caught people on so quick without even really knowing what it was. Everyone bought it just all at once, and then it quickly kind of died off.
I want a real controller. I want a real controller.
Yes.
And I want to be able to put 2 of them on a console, not like this tablet. That is like the worst. I remember hearing about that. I'm like, this thing is a disaster. You can only hook up 1 tablet to a Wii U. That's ridiculous.
You can't buy them either. So
they need to start courting third parties, like Beasley was saying. They need to go after them hard. They need to start signing those deals with Activision for exclusive content in Destiny, exclusive content in Call of Duty, getting that content first. They need to start writing big checks to console developers to start getting, releases on their console first or DLC on their console first, because that's what's going to get the hardcore gamers to start buying their console again. Look how many Call of Duty players are switching over to PS4 right now because they're going to get the DLC first. Tons of them. Tons of them. Like
Sony really learned from the last generation. If Nintendo could do the same, yeah, I think they can come back.
What if you could get the Hawk Moon 2 and Destiny first on Nintendo?
Oh, shit.
That is
you want a Hawk Moon
weird thing.
You know you want a Hawk Moon.
Briar's going to move over to Nintendo that day. Get my Hawk Moon 2, my Galahorn 4.
You'll be standing in line.
Hawk Moon
my
2
Galahorn Extreme!
Do you guys
It'll be called the Super Galahorn.
Yeah, the Super with more power. Do you guys think it's as hard as it appears for Nintendo to recapture the trust between them and the third-party developers? It seems like it's been unbelievably hard for them to work.
They keep making stupid decisions, Beasley. Why would you develop another version of your game for the Wii U?
You have to port it down.
That's
to
not going to sell.
Worth the time.
You know it's not going to sell because third-party games haven't sold for the name the last 4 Nintendo consoles. Like they just don't sell. They don't sell on Nintendo consoles. People don't buy Nintendo consoles for third-party games. They buy them for Nintendo games.
Yeah.
Nintendo has to change that. They have to figure out a way to change that. And I think
If
the
they
way to
come
do
out
it is
swinging-
to start spending a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Well, all they gotta do is do what Sony did this last generation. With that cell processor, Sony had it so hard for developers to make games that stood up the way they did on the 360. And Sony saw that. They understood it, so they came with a more approachable system with the PS4. And I think if Nintendo did that and came with a more approachable system that was powerful enough to run these games, to be on par with the PC, but at the same time pull their first-party amazing games into that library and court these third-party developers, it would be a win-win for them. It would be Nintendo again. Right now, Nintendo is a shadow of their former self. It's really sad.
Nintendo easily has the potential to come back to. Like they can do it. I know they can do it. They have the money. I mean, they have more than enough money to succeed. They can buy up these third parties. They can say, look, the NX, you can get Mario, you can get Zelda, you can get all these first parties you love.
You can get Call of Duty, you can get Destiny, you can get Fallout 4, you can get all the games you want to play.
Yeah.
How would you lose with that? Like they can win.
It'd be a win-win situation for everybody. Gamers would be happy, developers would be happy, Nintendo would be happy.
It's not that hard to do this too. If they have both of those, they can win, no problem. They just don't see it. They don't get it.
I hope they do.
Parties and third parties, you'll dominate. They just don't get it.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
but they got to release hardware though, Robbie, that's compatible with these games because. The third-party companies don't want to release a Wii U version of the game because they got to develop a whole different version to make it basically backwards compatible.
It costs more too when they have to port it down, and then they're not going to make their money back because it doesn't sell anything on that system. Yeah, it's a waste of time.
So Nintendo needs to support this. Okay, and the last thing I want to see out of this console is I want to see that fusion rumor come true. I want to be able to use the next version of the DS as a controller for my NX, and I want to be able to take those games. I want to buy a game once. Say you buy a game from the eShop from Nintendo. I want to buy it once, be able to play it on the big screen on my NX and on the small screen on my next generation DS.
And have it like a console experience too, on the go.
I got a question. I want you to clarify what you mean by on the go, Briar Rabbit. Do you mean in Wi-Fi range of your network, or do you mean
I want it to be a hard-loaded copy on my next generation DS, whatever that's going to be called. Let's call it the NX DS, okay? I want that to be able to be used as a controller, in addition to the regular controllers, for my NX, and I also want the games that I buy to be cross-compatible if they come from the eShop. I'm not talking about Call of Duty. If Call of Duty comes out, it doesn't have to work on my NXDS.
Okay.
But if I buy a copy of Castlevania 3, that damn well better work on both.
Yeah, that needs to, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There's one thing, I agree with everything you guys have asked for, but there's one thing I want Nintendo to not do again. Get rid of these goddamn Miis. I am so tired. I'm so sick of them.
I agree.
I'm 35. It does not feel like something that I want to engage in, seeing these little cartoon pop-ups of these Mii characters. Give us a UI that speaks to America, it speaks to the world, speaks to the hardcore. Miis don't do it.
It was cute and refreshing at first with the Wii.
Yeah.
But it's gone on too long and it feels old and outdated.
It's like, they got these damn Muppets on their Nintendo Directs. Nobody's into that. We're adults. We don't want to fucking play with Miis. Get rid of those. Give us a UI.
Nintendo gamers. That's the console they choose to play on. When they're not playing Minecraft, they turn on their Wii U. They don't play on Xbox. They don't play on PlayStation 4 because it's the Nintendo games that speak to them the most. But even they don't like the Wii U, the Miis anymore. It's like, come on, get out of here with that.
I don't think Nintendo should focus just on the Miis, though. They got a lot more to work on.
They need to focus on hardware and pricing. And then they need to focus on third parties.
Yeah, those are the big three.
So the next little part of our news is Nintendo continuing to support the Wii U and the 3DS. Brian, you touched on that. Do you guys see an immediate price drop of these two once the NX is announced?
Definitely. Yep. There will be a price drop. They'll get them down cheap, so people will start buying them. I honestly don't believe, to be honest, that they're going to support it that much. Like, there's a big difference between saying you're going to support it and you're actually supporting the systems. I don't see them supporting it much. Like, they're going to want to get onto the NX as fast as possible. They're going to want to forget the Wii U. I
think they're going to kill support for it fairly quickly, kind of in a Microsoft Xbox style. They're just going to dump it.
Yeah.
Your old games will still work. That's fine, but there's no new games coming out for it.
They want to get away from the Wii U as quickly as possible. Let's be real here. They're obviously not going to say that. They want to still make people happy. They're going to say, look, we're going to support these systems, but realistically, they're getting onto the NX, and it's very clear that that system is actually pretty close to being done. So
yeah.
That's their future.
Yes, I bet they'll support longer because there's so many of them out there.
Yeah. There's 80 million 3DSs out there, so that's...
You can see that Nintendo has a hard time getting away from that platform, too, because they can't... When they come out with, the next version of it, they can never name it anything else. It's like, this is just... It's a DS Plus, it's a DS Lite, it's a DS
XL.
Color, it's a 3DS, it's a new 3DS.
DS.
It's a Tostitos DS. It's still the
new
DS,
Doritos
it's still
3DS.
The DS. You don't have to buy all new games. But it'd be nice for them to take a clean break on the DS side too. It's like start with something new. I think is it time to get away from cartridges on the DS? I
don't know. It's like the Vita is very technologically advanced, but it still uses cartridges. Basically.
Yeah, is it time to get away from that, though?
They're not cartridges, they're SD cards. I think that's a big difference there. SD cards, it seems like there's not too many limitations with that.
It's a similar thing. I don't know. What media would you like their portables to go to, Brian? Downloads only?
Yeah.
I think digital would make sense if you can take it on the road with you and it's the same basic gaming experience. It would have to be probably digital. I don't see what kind of media we'd use for that.
Yeah.
So
I think that would work as long as there's a big enough hard drive on it. Seems like these companies are scared to give you any damn space nowadays.
As long as there's an SD card slot in, it shouldn't make much of a difference.
Okay. All right, so going on with our news, guys, an extremely rare prototype for what would have been Nintendo's PlayStation has been discovered. Now, I didn't get a chance to see this, and I don't know if any of you guys... Yeah, take a look. Brian's going to pop it up for us.
Yeah, I'll pop it up here on the screen here.
You guys do know about that Nintendo-Sony partnership, right? Before even the PS1 came out? That's basically what this is. This is the prototype for what that system was going to be, and it's super cool. It's definitely... It looks super authentic. This has to be real to me. It definitely looks really good.
Well, Sony wanted to have some rights with this thing, and let me see.
So this is it. Let's see if I can expand that.
Sony actually wanted to have some rights with this partnership, and Nintendo wasn't having it. And so Nintendo actually backed out and went to Philips with their CDI.
Yeah.
And that's where you get the catastrophe that was Nintendo's Legend of Zelda. But let me stop talking so you guys can see it.
So what's cool about this, right, is that it's clearly an amalgamation of the Super Nintendo and like Sony hardware, right? You can see the Super Nintendo controller there, even though it's a Sony PlayStation on it. And even like the box, it looks a little bit Nintendo-ish, a little bit Sony-ish, you know.
But it's got a CD drive in there as well as the cartridge-based system with the SNES.
Right. And you can see that button there looks like it's that purple color that was the NES color.
I love this.
But yeah, it's clearly it looks authentic. It really does.
Oh my God.
So let's talk about the history of this a little bit because. Robbie, you talked about it a little bit just now. What this was that at one point, Sony and Nintendo were going to collaborate on a CD-based upgrade for the Super Nintendo.
And this is before they even did like the PlayStation 1. Like this is before Sony even got into the.
Well, this is the reason that the PlayStation. This is the reason PlayStation 1
came out. When the Super Nintendo was a thing, right? It's when the Super Nintendo was at the peak of its power. For some reason, and we don't know exactly why. I don't know exactly why. Nintendo just dropped it. They said, nope, we're not doing this anymore, and kind of left Sony high and dry. Sony started working with Philips on the CDI, and that was shitty. We got a lot of shitty games out of that.
Zelda.
Yeah. And Sony was bitter. They were pissed off. So they decided to take they had spent a lot of money on development of this project. They had spent a lot of time on it, and they said, you know what, screw it. We're bringing this to market anyway. We're going to call it the PlayStation. And it became the PlayStation.
Oh,
we could do this all on our own, and look what happened. They had an amazing success. Yeah.
I think it could go down as Nintendo's
biggest
stumble. You know, it's a huge blunder for them because not only did they miss out on the the digital kind of media thing where they continued with cartridge-based games even into the next generation with the N64. They missed out on having CD quality music in their games. They missed out on having cheap storage. And you could tell with the N64 that it was missing that. But they also created a competitor out of one of the most powerful brands in the world. At the time, Sony was at the peak of its power. And, they came in, they nailed it with the PlayStation. They put a ton of money behind it. And the gaming world has never been the same since.
It changed everything, too. Like, everyone was doubting, like, Sony coming into the console race, there's no way they can do it. And look what happened. They made an amazing console that I grew up playing at, like, 3-4 years of age. I love that system. It's so dear to my heart. I love that console so much. And that's what got me into gaming was the original PlayStation. That console will always have a place in my heart. I love it so much. And playing Crash Bandicoot, playing Final Fantasy VII, playing all kinds of awesome games.
They made a ton of deals, exclusive deals, with companies that were sick of Nintendo's shit. Because Nintendo, even back then, was treating third parties like super bad, right? You had to pay a shitload of money to get the Nintendo seal approval to even release a game. And then you got no support from Nintendo. PlayStation changed everything for third parties.
Yeah. One of the big partnerships they got from Nintendo was Konami. Before
Square.
Square. They were all with Nintendo. Capcom went to them.
Capcom.
It was devastating for Nintendo, and I remember when the PlayStation 1 first came out. I get spirit fingers thinking about it. It was just a magical moment for me.
You get all tingly?
Yeah, it was really amazing because going from what the Super Nintendo was to the Nintendo 64 and then seeing the PlayStation, it was such a huge leap. I remember my Uncle Charles walking into the room, and I was playing Air Combat, which was called Ace Combat back then. And he said, "Is that a movie?" I said, "No, it's a game." I was so fucking excited. It just changed the world. The PlayStation really did, and it hasn't been the same since, like Briar said. And they've grown so much. They've learned so much. And I think that PlayStation, is Sony's biggest financial success as a company. And I don't think that's going to change for a long time.
It's amazing how a broken partnership led to one of the biggest juggernauts in the gaming industry. I mean, Sony they're one of the big three, and that's crazy. This broken partnership, Sony was like, we can do this on our own. We do not need them. Bam, and they killed it. And they're at this point in time too, they're on top of the world. They're leading the console race. They're doing amazing. They're killing
they definitely
it right
stumbled
now.
with the PlayStation 3, but they've come
They
out
rebounded.
swinging with the PlayStation 4.
Yeah. PS4 is the shit this generation so far.
But yeah, that's a really cool piece of history, and this guy just had it. Like, he had it just sitting in his attic, and yeah.
They were about to throw it out. He didn't realize what it was, and then someone told him, "Whoa, like, do not throw this out."
Yeah.
So there's only one of these things? Where are the rest of them?
I believe there was, I think the article said there was 200 made ever.
It's extremely rare. Like, there are
But they
very
were
few of
ordered
them.
destroyed.
Yeah.
Holy hell.
Yeah.
So this
You
may
know
be
how
the
much
only one
money
in
a person would pay
existence.
for that? God,
This,
can you imagine?
this may be the only one left in existence. Cause,
Yeah, according to
they-
Wikipedia, there were only 200 produced. But that number doesn't appear to come from any independent source, so we don't know. We don't know exactly.
In an alternate world, I would have loved to have seen what that thing could have done as far as the cartridges, the fidelity of the cartridges, what they would have been able to hold. And I wonder if it would have played just regular PlayStation games. It would have been crazy.
No, it was a Super Nintendo.
Mhm.
It was a Super Nintendo Plus a CD, so similar to the Sega CD. That's how it would have operated.
Yeah, but the cartridge on top didn't look like a Super Nintendo cartridge.
Well, it's the Japanese version.
Oh,
Can you even
Famicom.
imagine
Okay.
how different the gaming industry would look today, though, if the actual original PlayStation didn't happen? Like, if this whole thing actually
It'd be
went,
completely different.
it would be way different.
It would be
Everything.
a lot
Microsoft
worse.
ever come into it? Would Sega still be around making hardware? Like, who knows?
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude.
Well, I know.
When Sega came out with the Saturn, they were not competing against Nintendo at that point. They were competing against PlayStation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'd be worse, honestly, because Nintendo has mismanaged relationships, hardware so much, and if somehow they were tethered to Sony, I think they would have blundered the PlayStation at this point. You know, and third parties probably still wouldn't want to work with them, so there wouldn't be any games on the PlayStation. So I'm happy Sony broke away from that crap and did their own thing. I really am.
It's funny too, though, because the same reason that the PlayStation was created was because of the hubris of Nintendo, right? And then Sony goes on to repeat exactly the same thing.
Like 20 years later, 15 years later,
like,
they do the
it's
same
like
thing.
incredible, like the cycle of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's weird. All right, so I think that's gonna do it, guys. Anybody got anything else they want to talk about?
I just want to tell everybody out there in the world of YouTube that I love you.
Should
You're
we
in my heart.
chat for any questions we got? I always forget.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, dude.
Definitely a good idea. If you guys have any questions, post them down below. We will read them. Fire them quick.
Fire them quick.
Okay. I don't know. We should be wrapping up here.
All right, I'm gonna check out the chat right now. Let's see here. I don't see any questions.
Okay. Bye, everybody. We're out.
You guys be easy.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you do have any questions, send them to us on Twitter, and we will answer them in the next episode. And thank you guys very much for watching.
Thank
Check
you.
out the Twitch page, guys.
One
See
more.
you next time.
W H 3 N is in Nancy X 3 P. That's as in Peter. R.
He's giving them away.
All right, guys. We're out. Bye.